Well, hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. I'm Tom. As always, I'm with my gorgeous, intelligent Disney date night loving wife and co-host, Michelle.
Aw, thank you, baby. Hi, everybody.
So good to have you with us. We are recording this episode on Sunday, January 12th, 2020. We had just a blast of a weekend, thanks to my wonderful party planning wife, Michelle. If you may have seen us on social media, it was my birthday yesterday, and we literally just walked in the door from our weekend out at the Disneyland Resort, and we had a magnificent time.
It was really a blast. And, all the Christmas things are put away. So it's
almost all. There's still a couple hanging around.
Just tiny. It's like, did they forget that little corner there? It's kind of funny. Cute. But yeah, so it's kind of going back to kind of like a flash to the past, I guess.
And they also
traditional.
And they also had a little bit of the splash up for Lunar New Year, which is
just
coming up this week out at Disney California Adventure Park. And that's exciting stuff. Always love any of the festivals that happen out there.
Right. But yeah, it was fun.
And Michelle planned it all and had a great time. And I'm really privileged for her to treat me so well. Thank you, Michelle.
You're so sweet. You deserve it. You're the best.
So thank you for joining us today. In the future, you can find us most everywhere you get podcasts. However, the best place to find us is on our own website, HyperionAdventurespodcast.com. And while you're there, why don't you just take a second and go ahead and sign up for our newsletter.
Right. We really enjoy, as we say this every episode, we really enjoy interacting with you all, and we love sharing some things with you and getting you to be in the know.
Yes, we try and share out all of our information of what we are doing this week, what we did the previous week, what we're doing in the coming weeks, as well as anything that we might have coming up, whether it be giveaways, whether we're eventually going to try and find a way to schedule some meetups, or who knows what may come up, but it'll all be there in the newsletter for you first. And the other way to get to know us and get more of our information is to follow us on social media, because we are very active on social media. And you can find us on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. And if you ever want to contact us, of course you can DM us through those sites at any time, but also another way to contact us is by emailing us at HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com.
Right. And we do love interacting with all of you in social media. It's a lot of fun. And yes, we like to get feedback. What kind of things do you want us to talk about or share? And just, all around chit chat together.
Right. And we love to hear what adventures, Disney adventures, or other adventures that you're having, what you're doing, what kind of fun you're having, or just whatever you want to talk about. We love hearing from you. So please interact with us either on social media or through the email.
Right. And the other thing that we really appreciate is if you could take a moment to give us a review, a rating. That's always very, very much appreciated.
Yeah, for any podcast, especially ours, of course, but any podcast that you love, ratings, reviews, and even just telling a friend about them, which is the easiest way to do it, just to get the word out there so people know that these podcasts exist. As for this show, lots of stuff for you today, including Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is opening up this week at the Disneyland Resort. I may have something to do with that in my tip of the week, just to let you know. I may talk that up a little bit. If you're going to try to go on Rise of the Resistance at the Disneyland Resort, well, you will probably need some tickets, and there is a new ticket offer that you may have interest in if you're going to do that, and we'll tell you all about that as well. If you're a regular Run Disney participant, by the way, congratulations to everyone that took part in the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. What a weekend. You guys, pictures, you all looked great. You guys are awesome. Proud of you all, and wish we could have been there with you, but we were with you there in spirit. Right. Anyway, there's a new club that you might want to be a part of. We'll tell you all about that. And there is a very special version of a recent popular Disney movie coming to theaters that combines two of my favorite things, singing and #Real Men Love Frozen. We'll tell you all about that as well. But let's get to our main topic of the week, and that is date night at Disney parks.
Let's dance. Take your dates to Disneyland. Fireworks parks are great at Disneyland. The sky lights up at 9 each night.
Romantic rides in the cool moonlight.
We're open till the clock strikes 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday
So yeah, if you don't know what that was, that is the theme song. Originally, they used to advertise this. It was a big deal at
Right.
the Disneyland Resort at Disneyland Park, which was Disneyland Resort at the time, of date night at Disneyland. They kind of played it up as like, look, you know,
Right.
bring people on out, have a great time. We've got all this stuff going on, and it was a lot of fun.
Right, doing things at night. And we know it's, just a little bit more than 1 month away from Valentine's Day. And we thought, what better way to start, especially if you want to secure some reservations or anything, is start talking about what are some ideas of things to do during date night.
Yeah, and when we discussed that we were going to do this, I went right off the bat. It's like, look, we're going to go with Michelle's ideas here because, like, look, you don't want to hear what my dumb ideas are for a date night. Let's go get a corn dog and run Smuggler's Run. I mean, really, Michelle, you want to hear what Michelle's ideas are for this. So Michelle has the list of ideas for a Disney date night. We have a lot of Disney date nights. We go out a lot, have a lot of fun there. If you've only been with family most of the time to Disney parks, of course, Disney parks are great for just being with your family,
Right.
being with the kids, enjoying yourself the whole time. But it's a really wonderful spot to go out just as a couple and have a fantastic time as well.
Right. And these tips are going to be, yes, if you're wanting a special date or something like that, but it's also good for Disney as an adult, for a group of friends or whatever.
Yeah. So Michelle always has the best tips. She always has the best stories. She will have the best ideas for date night at Disney parks. So let's get to it here. Michelle, tell us your ideas for date night at Disney parks.
All right. And, trying to figure out how to best present this, I'm not trying to give anybody an itinerary of like start with this, then go there, and then do that. Just kind of going through the categories of what's available at the parks, things that we've experienced, and, share some of our, knowledge of how that has worked. So kind of starting at, like the top of the charts, okay? The luxe kind of fine dining.
The splurge date.
Like super splurge.
Like you're
date.
really trying to impress somebody,
Right.
or maybe you're going to propose
I
to
was gonna
somebody or
say,
something.
right,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. So one idea would be Grand Floridian, Victoria and Albert, especially if you can do the chef's table.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
That's not cheap.
no,
But
no.
and we haven't done it yet, but we've heard it's spectacular.
Right, right. And I've been in Victoria and Albert. I mean, it's an amazing experience, an amazingly beautiful, lovely location. And the food, it's always changing. It's always unique for the night. They, do ask everybody's food preferences and obviously allergies and things like that. And, they really do, create an experience for you in that atmosphere. Similarly, in Epcot, maybe not quite as high end as Victoria and Albert, but also very special is Monsieur Paul, and that's second floor of the
Which we've done.
Epcot's France Pavilion. Yes, which we have done. It's also very special if you can get a window view. Although not that you wouldn't have a great time if you didn't get that, but especially as it gets closer to the evening. Whether it's Epcot Forever or whatever, Harmonious coming up, but that's a really special place there as well. And we've been fortunate to have the chef come out and talk to us and share some information with us. So, that's a really special location.
Yeah, very elegant food. If you're looking for hearty portions, that's not the restaurant to go to for you. Yeah. But and it is a little bit high priced, but the food is excellent. It's top of the line French cuisine is what it is.
Right.
With the really extravagant sauces and just really well cooked, delicate food. It's a beautiful dinner.
Right.
It's a beautiful and elegant dinner. That's right there in the middle of a actual Disney park.
Yes. And so that one's only open for dinner. So that's not open during lunchtime. Similarly with Victoria Albert's, I didn't point that out. And another really luxe fine dining experience would be over here on the West Coast, would be going to Napa Rose at Grand Californian Hotel.
Yeah, another wonderful spot. Just a beautiful place and a beautiful hotel right near the parks, but excellent wine list as you would expect from a place that's called Napa
Right.
Rose. Wonderful food, really well done, and just, top of the line restaurant for sure in Disney.
Right, right. So those are like top 3 really splurge kind of locations where you could have a very special meal. And again, great for a date or just some, really adult close friends and whatever.
All right, now let's get to what we can actually afford.
Okay, so other really nice locations to have some wonderful food to experience on a date, starting with Grand Floridian again, is Citrico.
Okay, another really nice restaurant.
Right. I mean, there's obviously lots of them, and I could go on and on and on, but just wanted to kind of highlight some, more the special experiences, I think, that we could talk about. Tiffin's at Animal Kingdom.
I love Tiffin's, actually. Yeah.
Right.
And the Nomad Lounge itself, which is attached
Right.
to Tiffin's. But Tiffin's is another great restaurant. Yeah.
Right. Especially the fact that you can try some very unique dishes that you wouldn't necessarily see at every location. That's kind of makes it a little bit more adventurous.
I like it. That's a great spot.
Right.
Once again, it's another restaurant we enjoy. We've eaten a couple times at, and we've enjoyed each time we've gone.
Right. And, and that one you can do with family. There's no problem with that. They are open at lunchtime. But, you really could, find a special location in that particular restaurant and really have something very special. We've done that more as a date when we've gone on that. Well, I guess we've done it both with family and as
We've done
a
both.
date.
Yeah, exactly.
And then another one, and this one kind of has a little different experience to it, is the Spirit of Aloha dinner show at the Polynesian Resort.
I've never done that. I know you have.
Yes,
I've never done that. I've been to
multiple
many
times.
We've been to luau's many times, both of us either apart or together, but I've never done that luau. So.
Right. So, I mean, it's obviously it's in a really great setting, really fun to be at the Polynesian whenever you can. So this one, I'm not going to highlight the food per se, but you're there for the show.
That's what usually happens in most luau's. Yes.
Right, right. And I'm not saying it's bad. I wouldn't compare it to Tiffin's or Citrico's in terms of the quality of the food that you get there, but you
Right
get
up there with Victoria and Albert's.
but obviously you get a lot of quantity of food there, but you also get a really fun show.
Dinner and a show put together.
That's
in
right.
One, thing.
That's right. And why not have that spirit of aloha on a special date?
Right.
So, and then another one which we've experienced on both coasts is afternoon tea.
Yes.
And I know this is a little earlier than the day than date, although it could be a fun way to start your day. Could be a fun surprise. But afternoon tea. So we've had that on multiple times over at the Grand Floridian at the Garden View Lounge there. That's got spectacular views.
It's a really quaint place.
It is. It really captures the essence, kind of a traditional British tea service. People there are very friendly and helpful. I mean, the last time we went, which wasn't that long ago, they had a new tea on there that had rose in it, and I was a little concerned it might be too flowery, and so they actually blended that and another kind of tea together to kind of soften that. And I thought that was really sweet and nice that they would, take the time to do that, not just like, okay, no, you want this, pot of tea. This is what we have,
Right.
and it really is special. It's nice, especially if you can go there like after 3, they have the piano player in the lobby there. And it's just a way to really come together and have one-on-one time without all the hustle and bustle.
Right. It's quiet. You can talk. And you do get a lot of food. I mean, they're all just small finger sandwiches and scones and such like that. But you'll be surprised at how filling that will be quickly, especially when you're drinking tea and having a great conversation. And you can also upgrade it and add
That's
a
right.
glass of champagne or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Depending
Yes.
on what you want. Yeah.
A lot of ways that they're willing to upgrade that service. And again, it's just really a nice time. If you want to sit and really have a great conversation with somebody, that's a setting that can really help develop that.
Very nice.
And now we can say we've done that here on the West Coast.
Right. Steakhouse 55 in the Disneyland Hotel.
Exactly. What did you think of that? Because that was our first time there.
I really enjoyed it. I actually thought it was the tea service. I think the location at the Grand Floridian is a better location as far as view and
Right.
everything else that goes on. But I mean, I like Steakhouse 55, the location there was, but you don't quite get those same views, that same look of the area.
Right.
But the actual service itself, I thought was a little bit better. I thought that you got a little more food. The tea were. You had a different selection of tea, and they were excellent as well. So
Right.
I mean, I enjoyed it very much and would totally do it again.
Right. The one at the Disneyland Hotel, I thought was interesting too, that even though you could probably ask for another pot of tea at one of the other loads, from the start, she said, you try it if you want something else. And we had talked about, I had shared, I wasn't sure which one I wanted to hone in on.
Once again, it was how much rose is in it.
I know.
It's always comes down to the rose.
And so what was really nice too was even after she saw that we were really finished eating, in fact, we had asked for a to-go box because there was just so much, so many great
Yeah, we
things.
still haven't finished it. We still have some more to eat today when we get back.
Exactly. And, she remembered and she offered to bring another pot. Actually, she offered to bring another pot for both of us. We decided we'd just try one to share. So I thought that was also a really nice feature versus trying to okay, here's the service. You get this, this, and this, and move it along. It wasn't that. It was very relaxed. Take your time, and so I thought that was really very nice that they had that opportunity there too. I've never seen a chocolate-covered strawberry as beautiful as the one that they had.
She was just fawning over there. They have these 2 chocolate-covered strawberries on this plate, and she's just fawning over them for the whole tea service. And I'm like, you can have them both. It's good. But, I mean, they are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. They're gorgeous strawberries.
Well,
It was funny. It comes up again because you fell in love with these strawberries.
I know. They were adorable. So, and I like chocolate-covered strawberries like anybody, but I'm not saying that's my favorite thing. But they dipped one in, they took white chocolate and tinted it pink, and then they decorated it and actually looked like a teacup. It's hard to describe, but they put a little handle on it, and it reminded me of the teacups at Disneyland. It was just adorable. But again, that one's, not as expensive. Those aren't as expensive maybe as going to a dinner, but they're a really wonderful way to have time together with somebody special.
It's as opposed to saying going to a movie or whatever. I mean, you can actually sit and talk. I mean, because one thing it's tea, so it's pretty quiet. It's not like a loud bar or a lounge or where it can get kind of loud. And it can be sometimes tough to have a conversation with somebody, And so,
True.
I mean, yes, it's going to be more expensive than just going someplace and having coffee or whatever the case may be. But it is a little upscale. But it is, like I said, it's a little nicer that you can just sit there, go through this, snack on these easy to eat foods, which is also a big thing with a date, is that you don't want to be slopping over some messy food or whatever. There's
Exactly.
finger sandwiches and scones and such. So it's kind of relatively a tidy food to eat, nice tea, and then you can have a wonderful conversation and learn about each other, or just, if you already are well entrenched in your relationship, just discuss what's going on in your lives or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Exactly. So, these ones that are in this category that we're talking about, so Citrico's, Tiffin's, the Spirit of Aloha, and Afternoon Tea. The nice thing about those locations is you can either dress up as much as you want, or you can be very, very casual. So it can be whatever comfort level you want to make that particular experience for yourself. And I think that's also a really nice plus for them.
Right. Are you done with your restaurants? Because I got one more that I would like to drop in. If you
Sure.
in case you don't have it on there, is I would highly recommend, and this is just something very simple. It could be like a quick night out for you. If let's say you're on a trip to the Walt Disney World Resort and you do have kids with you, but you can break away for an hour or two. Go out to the Animal Kingdom Lodge and go to Sanaa and just get either whether you go and actually get a table or just go and do the lounge there. Just get the bread service and a cocktail or a glass of wine, and just the fun of dipping. The 10 different, I think it's 10 different sauces and the bread and
Right.
everything, and just trying and sampling different things. It's bound
Sure.
to strike more conversation, and it's fun.
Right.
It's a really nice way to kind of approach it in a lighthearted yet unique style without one, it's not super expensive. Two, it's not like this huge. It's not going to take up a lot of your time
Right.
on
No,
your
it's
vacation
true.
or
Right.
on your night or whatever.
No, that's a great point. And again, it's one of those you can dress up or be more casual. But there is something about when you're eating and using your hands. It adds another dimension of an experience. And again, these things, when you think of a date night, yes, you do want time to be able to, focus in on each other, but also to have some kind of an experience that you share together.
Right, and that's that's one thing about these sauces. If you've never done the bread service, I know many of you have, and I know most of you love it.
Right.
So we're probably preaching to the choir here many times. But the fact that you mix and match these sauces,
Right.
and and you try a little bit of this, a little bit with that, it's also great to spur on conversations. Like, oh, you got to try this with that.
Right.
It's really, and it's just really fun. And there's things like if you really like things super spicy, that's there. If you like things super sweet, that's there. If you like anything in between,
Right, it's got a
there
range.
as well. So you can it's kind of hits across the board for everybody.
Right. No, and that's a great recommendation too, because you might think of, oh, here's an appetizer, and then we're going to feel super hungry afterwards, and that's not necessarily true. That it is a fair amount of food that you get to experience in that bread service.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go ahead and do the whole dinner at Sanaa,
Sure.
they have great food there. I would highly suggest that as well. But even just like I said, simply the bread service with a cocktail or a glass of wine or whatever the case may be, a lot of fun.
Right. And they also have a great wine list there. I was
absolutely.
pretty impressed with that. All right. Good addition. Thank you. So the next kind of category would be cocktails with a view.
Okay.
All right. And again, I'm keeping these lists short. They could be much longer. Some that, kind of overlap that, I could have put them in multiple categories, like one with food or one with cocktails or some other areas. But so for cocktails with a view, and we've talked about this one recently, is the lounge at the Riviera Resort. And actually it's within
At Topolino's
at
Terrace.
Topolino's Terrace, right? So, I mean, I don't want to confuse that there is a area near the lobby, off the lobby, that is also a little
Yeah, I
lounge.
think that's the Voyager's Lounge, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken.
But this one is at Topolino's, and it's at the top, like you said, at the top, and it has spectacular views. Whether you're staying there for the fireworks or not, it just is beautiful. Inside is beautiful. Outside is beautiful. Outside they have some lounge couches and a lot more comfortable type of seating there as well, and they have the bar outside, and it's just really pretty. I mean, again, you're going into a resort that's on the core of either the southern France Riviera section or Italian type of decor. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous spot. One of our new favorites that we just experienced last month, and would highly recommend it to anybody looking to go out and have
Right.
a cocktail. And yeah, like you said, scope out some views.
Right. And this one again is another restaurant which or lounge that we've talked about, that even full, you're able to carry on a conversation with somebody. It wasn't, very distracting with a lot of other outside sounds around. So
Exactly.
another cocktail with a view sighting location would be California Grill at the Contemporary Resort. That one is, also it's at the top. It's beautiful. And the nice thing about that is even if you have like an earlier dinner or something like that, you can return for the fireworks and have that area that's set aside for patrons of the California Grill. So you could have it like dual purpose, or just stay there long enough to
Right.
see the
Plan it out
fireworks.
ahead of time so you are up there at that exact
Right.
time.
And again, it's another location. If you're not staying to watch the fireworks, it's still beautiful. What you're looking at, you're seeing the Magic Kingdom. I mean, it's just really special views.
Agreed. We go to the Top of the World Lounge often, which
Right.
is DVC only, especially DVC, and you also have to be staying on
On
a
property.
resort property at the same time to be able to be allowed in there, unless you're accompanied by somebody who is doing exactly what we just said. But the views of the fireworks from both locations
Right.
are wonderful. Yeah.
And that's my next one. I know that it, like you're saying, it's for DVC members only, but there are a lot of people and a lot of our listeners who do have membership in the DVC,
Or you know somebody
or
who
you
is,
know somebody
like
who
us.
is, right? And so all of our listeners, for that reason,
Right.
know somebody, us.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, that's a really special place. It's small, it's quaint, really fun decor. I love their cocktails, how they, have some that are named after monorail colors and, just different wines that they have, some that are with the Disney families, other great wines. So, that only has small plates, but again, cocktails with a view. You can't beat that view.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent view right down to Magic Kingdom. It's really perfect place to have a nice evening there. for
Right.
sure.
And again, a date can be as easy as just having cocktails. It doesn't have
Yeah, it
to.
doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be, this big elaborate thing.
Right.
It can be very simple.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get into some fun locations
All right.
and having fun.
Ready for some fun.
All right. So the first one, and this is an experience that you could have again on East Coast or West Coast, so Florida or California, is Trader Sam's.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fun, unique experience. It's totally different than the other ones that
Yeah.
we were just talking
A little
about.
tougher to hold a conversation there, but
Right.
it is a blast. That's
It
for
is
sure.
a blast, So if you're trying to, you might have gone and done cocktails or plan to do dinner someplace else, and you want to start at Trader Sam's and just have a little bit of fun. That's just a crazy, kooky atmosphere. And if you haven't been there, it's really worth trying. It's a lot of fun there.
Yeah, I definitely. That's what it is. So Trader Sam's is a lot of fun. That's all there is to it. You pay a little bit more for the ambiance and
Right.
and some of the fun that comes with it. And seats are hard to find at times.
Yeah.
And, a spot in there can be difficult to get, but when you do, it's just a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that is simple fun, okay, it would be just a stroll along the boardwalk over by the, Boardwalk Resort. And, they have different things you can do there. They have different, venues to eat, etc. But that might just be, something. I mean, we like to people watch and things like that. So that could be something that you might really enjoy. That's also very simple to do.
Yeah, perfect.
And the last one in my category of fun is the Highway in the Sky Dine Around.
Ooh. That's fun and high end.
I know. It is, yeah. The fun didn't have like price relations. It's just type of activities that you could do. So if you haven't done this or haven't heard about this, this is a progressive dinner experience. So actually there's 5 courses. And it obviously it's called Dine Around. So it's involving the monorail. So you're actually going as a group into a monorail car. You're not eating there, but you're being transported. So you start with some food and some cocktails. You all get together and you then go to the next restaurant, have some, drinks and food there, and again come together, go to a next one. So you do that to get all 5 courses, and then at the end, you're going to the 3 resorts that are on the monorail link at Disney World, and then you end it by going and watching the fireworks together.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. As soon as it first came out, we discussed whether we should do it or not.
Right.
And we never have actually done it because of the price and everything involved with it, but it looks like a blast. However, what I'll say is, like, if you want it all planned out for you and you want your own car and the monorail and everything secured and everything and sure spots and all these lounges and everything, yeah, it can be worth the price. However, you can also do all these things, just kind of plot it out on your own and hop on at one resort and go from one resort to the next one, to the next lounge, to the next lounge, to the next lounge, and end up where you want. And do it on your own for probably a little less money. So, it depends on what you want. If you want it all taken care of for you, you don't have to think about it. You just go and follow along. Great. But if you want to kind of have your own, if you find a lounge you want to stay a little longer on, then you can do it that way. And you want to save a little money, you could also do it all on your own.
Right.
As well.
I mean, you're right. You can do it. Definitely, you can do it cheaper on your own. You'll have more control over what you want to drink and eat. but there is something about just going as a group, or going with the group, and that everything is, so you arrive into a location and everything is set up for you.
Right.
So you don't have to wait and go through, ordering processes and things like that. So it's more of an easy way to get something that's fun.
You're paying for the convenience of not
Right.
having to think about this all yourself. It's all guided for you. It's a guided tour. Things are set up for you, where you want to go, what you want to do, to these places, and that's why you're paying a little higher rate
Right.
for it. Of course, like I said, you can do it less expensively on your own, but then you have to plot out all these things. You may have to wait for a monorail or two if it's really crowded day or whatever.
Right.
You may have to wait to go into a lounge
Sure.
if it's really busy. Whereas if you're in the dine around, of course, they're going to have these spots reserved for you already.
Exactly. So, it again, all of these ideas are just, something may work for one person and not another, and, with this, and you're right. It's one of those things. We tend to do things and plan things a lot on our own. We're micro planners. And so it's a little harder to give that up and to pay more to give it up. But there, if you like to be on vacation and just relax and not think about it, this is, I think, a really fun way to do it.
Yeah, we're funny because we do both. We will, plot things out on our own and do things like, well, we can save a little money here, and we can save a little money. And there's other things that we're like, let them Disney set it up for us.
Right.
We're good. Like, we've done many of the dessert parties. I know many of you out there, like, dessert parties are a waste of money. I can see the fireworks just fine.
Right.
I don't need to go in and get these desserts. I can go and find my own snacks or
Right.
whatever for easily the price that you're paying for these dessert parties, and that's fine, but some of these dessert parties, and we've talked about this in the past, Michelle, I don't know if you know us, but Michelle is a little vertically challenged and sometimes has a difficult time getting views at some of the parades or some of the fireworks spectaculars or whatever show it may be. And so sometimes it's worth a little money to us to splurge and make sure that she has a location where
Right.
she can see the actual show and not somebody's shoulders or head or whatever the case may be in front of her. And
Right.
that's well worth the convenience and the price for us. It's whatever's right for you.
Right. So, well, let's stay on that track, and we'll go into the entertainment. Why do I do this? Because we're not videoing it yet.
Right yet. Quotation.
Yeah, in the
Michelle's
air.
doing the finger quotations. Entertainment. You can see those, can't you? The quotations. Entertainment.
So we'll get into the entertainment type of ideas of what to do for a special date night. And dessert parties is one of the ones that I had on there. One of the benefits, like you talked about, was for me in terms of my ability to have an area to watch where I don't have a lot of people in front of me. But the other thing that's really nice about the dessert parties is that you can enjoy as much of time at the parks as you want, and you're not having to go scout for a spot, and try to hold on to it until it's actual time for the, for the fireworks. And that's another nice feature that I really like about them. I mean, sometimes you get some of the different dessert parties are, better than others in terms of the food, and, some seasonal things that they've had are maybe better than some of the routine dessert parties. But it is a great way to have some entertainment. You have that food and drink usually, and then you can go watch the fireworks. So you can do that whether you're just going in the park for that, or like I said, you can spend the day doing all the things you want to do in the park, and then you're not feeling like you're spending a lot of time just standing or sitting to hunker down for location.
Yeah. Again, it's all about if you're willing to pay the price for convenience. That is what a lot of these fireworks shows and these dining packages and whatever the case may be,
Right.
Provide for you. It frees you up for, yes, you're paying a premium, but it does free you up to do other things or whatever the case may be in this situation. So it's weigh what's right for you.
Right. And who doesn't like dessert? I mean, what a
Right.
great date.
It's true. It's true. And a lot of these dessert parties also have savory options too.
Right.
So it's not just like you just have to eat a bunch of sweet stuff. They've started adding in like little sandwiches and cheese and
Yes.
crackers and
Nachos
all sorts of different stuff as well.
So another fun thing to do is a carriage ride. Horse-drawn carriage rides. You can take them at Fort Wilderness or at Port Orleans Resort. And again, that's a nice romantic little way to, just be together. Especially, for us when it's like the cold nights, and then you just have like a little
A lot of
blanket.
those in Florida.
Right. seasonally.
Yeah.
But they're fun even not on cold nights too. But I mean, there's just something kind of just, I don't know, romantic about a horse-drawn carriage, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's no question about it. I mean, just thinking about it, just a nice ride through wherever it
Right.
is, and Port Orleans or Fort Wilderness, and just together for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long the
Yeah, I
ride
think they're
is.
usually about 40, 45 minutes.
Not really, they're that long. I didn't realize.
Yeah, some are shorter. I think they have some 30-minute. It depends on different seasons.
Yeah, I thought they were relatively short, but that's a pretty long
Mhm.
ride. So that's it's a nice time to just sit back and watch the sights go by and
Right.
have a nice conversation and just enjoy snuggling up
Yeah,
together.
yeah, and then those are obviously talking about like evening things.
Mhm.
Another fun evening experience, and this one I hesitated to put on the date night, but if you're somebody, if you're a couple or friends that just enjoy fun, then going to see Yeehaw Bob at Port Orleans River Roost Lounge.
Yeah.
That's
That's
more
a hoot.
It is a hoot. It's
It's
a
a
more
hoot.
quirky kind of date. Like I said, I was a little hesitant to put it on there, but there are times that on a date you just want to have fun, you want to laugh, and this is a great experience to do that.
Yeah, it's we did this for the first time back when we were there in June of last
Right.
year with Rob and Kim. Rob LeBaria, who has been on the show many times, and his wife Kim invited us to go do this. We had never done it before. I don't think they'd ever done it either, but they had seen some things on YouTube or whatever about how cool it was and how fun and interactive
Right.
and just a great night it is. And we had a blast with them, just kind of hanging out and doing this whole thing. We got there a little early before the show started, so we could actually hold a conversation between
Sure.
the four of us. And then later on, Yeehaw Bob does his thing, and it's fun.
hilarious.
Yeah,
it's
great.
fun. It's hard to
enjoyable.
describe it. I have never seen a show like it. I guess the closest thing would be to compare it to vaudeville, but I'm not even a big vaudeville fan, and yet Yeehaw Bob was fabulous. And if you like Disney and Disney movies,
Disney
and
songs, because
Disney
a lot of Disney
songs,
songs.
this is a fun way to have an experience together. Another thing, and this is one of the things that you like to do, is going in to watch dueling pianos.
Yeah, I do. Whenever we can find a spot that does
Right.
dueling pianos, I think that's always a blast. as
Right.
well,
So, and again, falling under the entertainment section. So, Jelly Rolls does have dueling piano lounge out here. Of course, out here at Disneyland Resort, they have it at the Golden Horseshoe.
yeah, it's kind of a new
Review.
thing. That's
Right.
It's only during the day,
I was just going to say that's a daytime experience, though.
but it's still a lot of fun.
Right. And falling behind that again, some of these entertainment things, I'm like, it might be good for some people.
Well,
Everybody
all
has
these things are, what is right for you. I mean,
Right.
tea. I mean, we talked about, we just had this great time at tea. Tea might not be the thing for you,
Right.
But that's why we're giving you ideas, and then you can decide if it's right for you or not.
True. Very good way to put it. Thank you. So some things you might be a little bit more into some activities that are kind of sports related, such as bowling at Splitsville.
Splitsville.
Yeah. Or playing mini golf.
Yeah.
So
Which we always talk about, like next time we go to Walt Disney World, we are going to go do Fantasia Gardens or whatever the case may be. And
Right.
we just never get around to it.
I
One of these
know.
days we're going to do that because mini golf is a good date anywhere in the country.
Right.
But
That's
why
true.
not at Walt Disney World
right,
Resort?
day or night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fun way to be together. And again, being able to, you're talking, you're laughing, you're experiencing things together. It's great.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next category is dancing.
Oh, something I'm terrible at.
No, not really.
Yeah, really.
No.
Yeah, really.
But and
My singing? My dancing is even worse. Be afraid.
no, we've done some dancing lessons together. You've done great.
Yeah, and then we do the dance lessons on cruises or whatever the case may be, and I do a little bit of the dance to begin with, and then it's like when you were in school and you took a foreign language class or whatever. Now think about how much of that foreign language you remember
Right.
now. Okay, well, that's like an hour from a dance class for me. Like, they'll tell you, like, okay, you're going to learn this, and then we're going to have the big party out on deck later, so you can use these dance steps. And like, they're all gone by the time the party starts. I don't remember any of it. So.
Well, maybe for some types of dancing styles, but not everything. You can hold your own on some things, but
I can hold you and spin around. That's about it. Really slowly. That's about all I can do.
So the dance locations that we're going to highlight here is Atlantic Dance Hall on the boardwalk, and that's over. In case you didn't know, that's in Florida.
What? Where?
Disney World, and then over here on the West Coast at Disneyland Resort, and you spoke a little bit about it at the beginning, was dancing at Disneyland. They have it most Friday and Saturday nights. They have like 3 sessions, and it is so funny. It's right inside the park. It's in the little area where they do during the day.
The Royal Theater.
The Royal Theater, right.
They do shows in there. With Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones during the day, which are great shows, by the way. You could check that out as well because they're totally entertaining. But then that night they clear that theater out and bring the swing band in.
Right. They have bands come in, singers. You will find people of all ages there. You'll find very young people. You'll see some people that like, okay, they're a dance instructor.
Right.
But you'll also find people who aren't that, and then you'll find
you can find young kids going out there on the floor and just dancing around.
Exactly. And then all the way up to some people that have been dating for a long time. And, it's just really cute. And it's fun to watch, but it's fun to be a part of that. We've actually gone on the dance floor there. So
again, just holding her and spinning slowly around. I'm not doing any of those swing moves. Nope. I can't do that. Although we did discuss that last night. Like, we are going to learn a swing dance so we can join in on that fun at some point, because it just looks like those people are having a great time.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you are sticking with that idea.
I'm sticking with that, even as much as my 2 left feet may give us problems, we're going to give that a shot. Yes.
Well, one of the songs last night was "Your Feet Are Too Big."
Feet's too big. Great song.
It was great, but it's a very fun way to have it. And and again, here, what better way to have a date is you're at the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy the park and then go dancing and then later go watch fireworks from Batu.
Right. Yeah, like we did last night, which was another great place to date. Go take a date, and you're looking for a great spot to see fireworks.
Right.
Can't recommend enough going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at the Disneyland Resort right around that time of fireworks, because it really doesn't get that crowded, and at least as of when we're recording this right now. And it's just it's an amazing view right over the spires of the fireworks. I posted a picture on social media of some of it from last night. Really great. But going back to the swing dancing thing, some of these, it's so great to see, because you can tell there's, like last night there were maybe 4 or 5 couples that were, a little bit up in age, and you could just tell, like, I don't think they were just there to, they weren't there riding Space Mountain.
No.
It's like they come there and this is their place. They probably live locally, and to go and, do the swing dancing they did when they were young. And it's just really fun to see.
Oh, absolutely. And people, some people, you can tell they've spent the day in the park and they're just dancing there. But the majority of people actually dressed up, in type of style that is great for swing dancing. And so it was really fun seeing that as well.
And it can be a little intimidating for somebody who doesn't know swing dancing, but I think that they're also very welcoming to people to come in there. You don't need to do the elaborate moves. You can go out there and just do a slow dance like we did, or whatever on the right songs. Obviously, if it's a really fast song, you don't want to just be sit there doing a slow dance properly, but very welcoming. And it, yes, you see some of these people doing these amazing moves, and it is a little intimidating, but I found that that's not really the case, that it is really a welcoming environment.
Right. It's kind of I think they kind of have like an unwritten, I don't want to say rule, request that if you're more experienced, you can be more in the middle of the dance floor. If you're a little less experienced, they prefer you to stay along the periphery of it. I mean, some people had little kids out there from time to time, but they also saw that sometimes the dancers could get a little bit enthusiastic.
Yeah, very much so. It was also, we see lots of people like, I mean, the people that show up as singles there. And like there was this one old elder gentleman that I saw over there, and I was watching him, and he was asking all sorts of women of different ages.
Right.
Like he danced with at least 5
just
different
wanted to
women
dance.
while we were there. He was just there to dance.
Right.
And he would just ask out of the crowd, 4 or 5 people, these women that were just sitting on the sideline, and they would come up and dance with him. And some of them had more skill than others, but everybody had a great time.
Yeah,
It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw also I don't know if it was last night or the last time we were there, a girl that definitely looked like she was a dance instructor, and she was dancing with different people through. I don't know if they were pupils or just people that she met there or what, but it is a really fun experience.
Yeah. So highly recommend. Even if you don't go and dance, if you happen to be at the Disneyland Resort especially I think Saturday nights is most common, but also on Friday nights, as well. Pop by there and just take a look and watch what goes on, because it's a lot of fun just to observe, even for 10, 15 minutes while you're waiting for your fast pass or dinner or the next thing, whatever the case may be.
That's exactly right. All right. So kind of wrapping it up here now with some really special things that you can do on the water. Both of these ideas. So one of them would be a firework cruise on a pontoon boat that you can rent with, and that you can go from, just simply rent, having that rented and you go out and watch the fireworks, or you could do add-ons. You could get, food and cocktails and drinks and whatever brought on boat as well. So that's a really nice, and the pricing of that is not out of this world. I mean, it's expensive, but if you're doing very special date night, you might want to consider that. The pricing is for a 21-foot pontoon, it starts at $299 plus tax.
So it's not cheap.
No, it's like I said, it's not cheap, but it's not utterly ridiculous either. And then it goes up depending on the size. But the granddaddy of them all, which is called the Grand One yacht, is a really special way to have a date night, or you could do it during the day. But if you wanted to do it at night, now the Grand Yacht starts at $3.99 per hour plus tax, and that does come obviously with a captain. But that's another one that you could add on. You could add on a butler. You could have different type food brought on, whether it's snacks or whether you want something more elaborate. The sky's the limit kind of in that thing. Yeah. But if you've ever been over at the Grand Floridian, you might have seen the Grand Yacht One parked out there, but that's something really special. Like that one I see if you're going to propose to somebody or something super duper special that you want to celebrate and you really want to, do that. To me, that's like super ultimate.
Is that what, are you trying to tell me something? No. Like, honey, hint. That would be really nice. Hint.
Actually, to me, I also find that one would be fun with a group of people, so it can fit up to 17 people, or, but that one, 17 if you have the butler. You can go to 18 if you don't have a butler.
Oh, wow.
But, I could see multiple couples or families wanting to do that. And maybe whether you're doing it with fireworks or during the day or whatever, could be really fun experience. Either way you want to do that.
Sure, if you want to lay out a little more cash. But again, if you're splitting up between that many couples, it's not that bad at all.
Then it's a little bit more reasonable. Right. So anyways, those are my ideas for, dating and fun at a Disney resort. Obviously, there's many, many more things. We could have named lots of different restaurants and other different type of experiences to have, but just wanted to kind of put some highlights out there and give you some inspiration maybe to plan a fun date night, whether it's for Valentine's Day weekend or any other time. These are some really special experiences that you can have.
Yeah, agreed. And that's a great list. Good job, Michelle. Look, I mean, you know what's right for you, for whomever you are taking on this special date, whatever the case may be. These are a few options out there. There are so many options through the Walt Disney World Resort, through the Disneyland Resort, through Disney Cruise. Disney Cruise is great for date nights within the cruise itself, even if you have the kids with you on the cruise. It's a fantastic place, and there are great places. Remy, Paolo, just going to the clubs, the bars themselves on Disney Cruise Line are excellent spots to go out for date night. But no matter what way you want to do date night at Disney parks, just do date night at Disney parks. Really do it. I mean, I know that you think about Disney parks, and many think going to the families, going with your kids, whatever the case may be. And yes, you should do that. It's awesome to do that. But every once in a while, take a break away and go out there and enjoy your significant other, whether it be a new budding relationship or whether you've been together for 40, 50 years or whatever, and go out and enjoy these different locations, because again, it's a theme park, yes, but there really are these wonderful romantic spots that you can take advantage of throughout the Disney parks and resorts.
Right. And it's just a different way to experience the parks and Disney resorts. I mean, like you said, we tend to go with family and friends and, make it a fun experience in that regards. But just taking a moment to really appreciate each other and appreciate where you're at, which is always spectacular. And again, I know this, list was not, okay, start here, next do this, next do that. And it was mainly more just to kind of give some ideas. Inspirations, but mix and match things, add other things, make the day your own. Like you just said, honey, that there are things that different people like. There are some of these things that I love on one day, but I would do it differently on another day. So you have a lot of opportunity.
Right. And we do Disney date days, Disney date nights often, a lot. And we love doing them. And a lot of times we will do very similar things, but every once in a while we like to do things a little different. Like for my birthday just yesterday, we did a couple things we've never done before and loved them and would do them again. So
and they didn't make this list.
Well, one of the T did.
Yes, the T.
But feel free to branch out and try new things when you're at the parks as well as couples, and find out what you like, because you may fall into the rut of doing the same thing over and over again, which is it becomes a rut because it's things that you like to do.
Right.
But every once in a while, it's good to try something different, because that could be the new thing. That could be the new norm for you. So check things out. And we've listed off. Michelle has done a great job putting this list together. Listed off a lot of excellent things for date nights. We'd love to hear how you have either regularly spent date nights, or how you've done it in the past. If you have some funny stories, some romantic stories, whatever the case may be, we would love to hear from you and find them out, and we will talk about them on upcoming shows. Hit us up on social media or through our email.
Right. We really want to hear about your ideas, and you can inspire us as well.
Yeah. So Michelle always has the very best topics. That was a great topic, date night at Disney parks. Let's get to our Disney stories of the week. Every single week, there are so many Disney stories, and we like to get to a few of them. And I'm going to start really quickly with one that's near and dear to my heart. And that's because there is a new version of a recent released Disney movie coming to the theaters, one that you may want to warm up your vocal cords for. La, 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 la. Oh, that was terrible. I really need to warm up those vocal cords. This from comingsoon.net. Disney Animation Studios' Frozen 2 special sing-along engagement is heading to theaters nationwide starting this coming Friday, January 17th, for a limited time. And to get you in the spirit of the special engagement, Disney released the sing-along version of the full Some Things Never Change sequence from the movie. You can check that out. That's on YouTube, and the other sites are comingsoon.net, which this came from, or whatever. Tickets are on sale now at Fandango, and I'm already to figure out when we're going to go, and so I can sing along.
We did get a tweet from Frank, who's like,
Frank Cardillo from Dillo's Diz. Yeah.
Right. He's like, he'd love to be able to have me record you without getting in trouble during that. But let me tell you, Frank, I a Frozen movie on any night from
Or just
Disney
the
Plus,
soundtrack.
just
Doesn't
the
even need to be the-
soundtrack, and record it, you'd be in hysterics. So
Hashtag real men love Frozen. So funny. That's just like right up my alley. I have my, I texted out to my cousin, who is my brother in Man Tears and brother in Real Men, hashtag Real Men Love Frozen, Chris, and said, okay, when are we scheduling this thing? We're
Right.
going out together, right? So just some fun stuff. So
Yeah.
that was cool, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. And what a fun interactive way to go spend the day with the kids, or
Yeah.
whatever, another date. Go out and
That's
sing
true.
along.
That's true.
and have a good time watching Frozen 2.
I know
once
that would be
again.
your ideal date.
It would be. And it's perfect. Except for that you have to listen to me sing. It's a good thing is the whole theater will be singing, so maybe I'll get drowned out a little bit. Yes. So also coming out on the 17th, of course, here on the West Coast is, Disneyland Resort is finally getting Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. So that is gearing up. It's opening up this coming Friday on the 17th. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my tip to kind of give you some pointers as to how you might get that boarding group. So stay tuned for that. But if you are planning on taking a trip to Black Spire Outpost for the Rise of the Resistance coming up at the Disneyland Resort, well, there is a new ticket offer to help you get there. This from the Disney Parks blog. For a limited time, Southern California residents can visit the Disneyland Resort theme parks for $67 per day with the purchase of a 3-day, 1 park per day ticket. That's an amazing price.
That is an amazing price, yes. And we've noticed the ticket booths very busy this weekend.
Right. So people are starting already to take advantage of this. Park hopper options are available, obviously, for a larger price. But if you want to be able to park hop, which is so easy at Disneyland, you can do that as well. Tickets are available for purchase through May 18th, 2020. Eligible guests may purchase up to 5 tickets per person per day, and the prices are the same for adults and children. So note that there's no change if it, depending on what your what child age is. The special ticket includes 1 magic morning, which gives admission to select attractions on select days at Disneyland Park, 1 hour before the park opens to the general public. And the good thing about this ticket is that Southern California residents may redeem their tickets on any 3 separate days through May 21st, 2020. So you can buy this now and go on the 17th and not need to go again until March or April. Oftentimes when you get these, 3-day or whatever day ticket things, like once you start it, you need to go immediately afterwards. Well, that's not the case for Southern California residents with this ticket package.
That's amazing. That's kind of like old time, how it used to be.
Right.
No, that's really wonderful because that really gives you, like you said, an opportunity that you might not get to go 3 consecutive days or within the 14-day window, and having that convenience is impressive.
Yeah, very much so. Now, if you are visiting from outside of Southern California, there's also a special value for kids. For a limited time, guests can save on Disneyland park tickets, resort park tickets for children's ages 3 to 9 for, again, $67 a day with the purchase of a 3-day, 1 park per day ticket. Most of the details are similar to the Southern California special ticket, except for, again, this is just for kids. And also this 3-day ticket expires 13 days after the first use or on May 21st, 2020, whichever comes first. So this is one. But I mean, if you're traveling from outside of Southern California, you're probably only coming for a visit anyway. So you will want to use that up within the time limit. So just know that you only have a little less than 2 weeks to use that up once you start that one. But another great price for your kids. Adult prices are still the same, but you get your kids in for a little bit of a discounted rate.
Right. Nice. And, considering that the annual passes did have a jump last year, I know that this is great that it's an opportunity for people who may not have been able to purchase a full annual pass.
Yeah. So take advantage of that. Get out to the Disneyland Resort. Lots of great things opening up now, and already opening up. There's festivals coming up. We saw the Lunar New Year setting
Right.
up. The Food and Wine Festival is coming up. Lots of great stuff.
Nice.
So get your tickets and get out there. Now, if you're a frequent Run Disney participant, and again, congratulations to everybody who
Yay.
ran in the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, whether you ran in just the 5K, the 10K, I say just the 5K.
Right.
No, the 5K is fantastic.
Right.
The 5K, the 10K, the half, the full, or the Goofy Challenge, the Dopey Challenge, which if you did that, wow, props to you. You guys are awesome. It's something I don't think I could ever do. Really, congratulations to you. And I know we had some trying conditions over the last couple of days. The
with the
temperatures
weather.
and the humidity were not pleasant as much, but
Right.
you guys did a great job. And again, wish we could have been there.
Yeah.
We're there for you in spirit. Anyway, there's a new Run Disney Club that might just be right for you. This from runDisney.com. From the pre-race prep to the enchantment of running through a Disney theme park to the exhilaration of crossing the finish line, there's magic in every step of a Run Disney event. That's very true.
That is true.
I was so feeling FOMO
I
over the
know.
last few days because it's been too long since we've done a Run Disney
Yes.
event. I miss them on the West Coast. It's been tough to try and coordinate our schedule with the races on the East Coast, and I really want to get back to doing Run Disney again. Anyway, I digress. Now there's something to make the experience even more magical. It's called Club Run Disney, a new unique membership opportunity for runners just like you, available in 3 year-long membership levels, each with limited availability. Club Run Disney offers a range of perks and special benefits. Now, here are the 3 different tiers you can get. And they're not it's not cheap to get into. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. Like,
Right.
you have to be committed to wanting to do Run Disney. And it's probably best if you're planning on doing like at least 3 or 4 of the races during
Right.
the year to want to be joining up for this. So silver membership goes for $265.43. That's all with taxes and other things. That's why
Right.
it's the odd number there.
Yes.
The benefits include a member welcome package, which is a member jacket, Club Run Disney magnet, and a membership card. You also get a tier 1 pricing year round for available Run Disney races, an exclusive 2020 Club Run Disney virtual 10K that's going to happen in October of 2020, and Club Run Disney designation on your race bib. So it says like, I'm a member of Club Run Disney.
nice.
Okay. Now there's also the gold membership, which is the next level up, which goes for $478.63. And for benefits for that include everything you get in the silver membership, as well as you get a guaranteed opportunity to purchase 1 spot in the half marathon or greater distances each race weekend through early registration. So you already are guaranteed to get a spot in that. Now, you still have to pay for that.
Right,
This is
right.
not included. The race isn't included in the price, but you do get that. Now, the big one, the big boy here is the platinum membership, which goes for $798.43. Yes, woo! It's not cheap.
No.
But you get everything you received in the silver membership. Just like I think I said that with the gold, everything in the silver membership, as well as you get a guaranteed opportunity to purchase 1 spot in 1 distance each race weekend through early registration. So if you're more of a 10K person, if you're a 5K person, whatever the case may be, if you're in the platinum membership, you get guaranteed that you will get a spot in the 10K or
Nice.
whatever. Because those 10Ks, especially
Right.
5Ks too, but the 10Ks really sell out pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Uh,
And
so
if
you'll-
you're not there and getting it on the day sometimes or shortly after that, you can have a tough time getting it.
Exactly. So that's kind of that benefit for there. You also get the Club Run Disney Expo experience, including Club Run Disney Lounge with convenient pickup. So that much easier for when you
Yeah.
go and pick up your packet. Early access to Run Disney merchandise shop with a special character meet and greet opportunity. And you get, this is the big one, possibly depending on how quickly you run or your normal pace is, upgraded corral placement.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you are the platinum, you're going to get a better spot in the corral. Now they do say that, because I was looking through the FAQs for this,
Right.
wondering about it, like, are these people going to get right up front now? Because
Yeah.
you could buy this and be relatively a slow runner.
Right.
And you're kind of clogging up the lanes for everybody. Well, apparently it's a better placement than some, but there are going to be placements that if you are a faster runner, you will be ahead of them.
Gotcha.
So you can choose of, like, let's say you have this upgraded corral placement, but the time you submitted puts you in corral B or whatever
Right.
the case may be. You can pick to go to corral B. So
Gotcha.
just to let you know this, even though you do get a better corral placement, it doesn't mean that these people are definitely moving up and starting the race
Right.
first, along with all the marathon winners. and out
Right,
there,
exactly.
Anyway, so membership for Club Run Disney are available beginning on February 18th, 2020. Your membership begins on October 1st of 2020 and runs through September 30th of 2021. So it won't be any good for any of these races coming up until Wine and Dine.
Right.
But after that, it will be good for the year after that. And it is limited availability in each tier. So this is possible that these tiers might sell out.
Right.
So if you are thinking about it, you may want to jump on it at the first opportunity. You also, if you buying in at a lower tier, I saw you can upgrade your tier if you find, I'm in silver, but I really want to be a gold.
Right.
You can do that. And just
Nice.
like upgrading your fast pass, you just pay the difference
Right.
later on. And also, if your tier does sell out, if you wanted a certain tier and it sells out, they do say that when the next year, they will have open up some more slots. Probably either some people will bow out and
Right.
not renew, or maybe they'll just open up some more slots. I don't know. But again, that was in the FAQ. So if you're not doing the 4 races this year, but you're thinking about doing 3 or 4 races the next year, there may still be availability to jump in on this.
Nice. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. So for those of you who are involved in Run Disney, and believe me, I think that Run Disney is awesome. And again,
Yes.
I'm totally feeling FOMO, and I can't wait for our next Run Disney event. This may be the right thing for you.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. So that's it for my Disney stories of the week. However, we never leave you without giving you some sort of tip that might help you on your next vacation. Sometimes it's a Run Disney tip. Sometimes it's a Walt Disney World tip. Sometimes it's a Disneyland tip. Disney Cruise Line tip. We always give you something to kind of help you on your next vacation. And we always start with Michelle. One, because she plans the best birthdays ever. But also she has the very best tip. So let's get right to it. Here is Michelle's tip of the week.
Well, you're so sweet and so kind. And I have a feeling if you're going to be talking about Rise of the Resistance, your tip today is going to take the number 1 spot for
We'll
sure.
see about that.
Mine is much more milder than that, and it actually comes from the tea, the afternoon tea. And here at the Disneyland Resort, when they do afternoon tea, they have different seasonal, like right now is just their standard tea, but then next month they're going to have the Cinderella theme, and they also have great ones around Halloween and Christmas time. And these things are really popular. These teas that are the specialty themes are so popular. They're really hard to get into. And so we did get a tip from our server saying that Thursday is the day to try it if you're having a struggle getting it. And so, that was, I thought, very beneficial and helpful because, especially if you're local, going on a Thursday, might be easy enough to do. Or if you're going to come for a long weekend, just start your weekend on Thursday.
Yeah, that's a great point and a great tip. Definitely, we see those things sell out like almost instantaneously. 'Cause
Right.
they're so very popular because they're great for adults, but they're also great for kids.
Right.
And just really an enjoyable thing. So any way you can kind of get in there is great.
Exactly. And, unlike Disney World where, you get the ability to reserve dining things 180 days, here it's generally 60. Some things are less than that. So it's one of those you really have to be there when something opens up and get on it. But the tea service, because they really do go all out with these themes and have some amazing different food items and decorations that go with it and everything. And they're a blast to go to. So if you're having a struggle, try a Thursday.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's what pointed out by our server, Ashley, I believe.
Yes,
Ashley,
that's right.
who we did a hashtag cast compliment for because she was wonderful and treated us very well. And also had that great tip,
Yes.
which Michelle is transposed into her tip, which is, of course, always the very best tips. By the way, speaking of that, we had a listener put one of your tips into action
Really?
just this week. And he's actually commented on your tips a couple times over the last couple weeks, Scott from Minnesota.
Oh.
They are on their vacation now at the Walt Disney World Resort. I think it's now, it may be over now, but recently, it was this week they were out there. And one of the first pictures he posted out there was commented, he tagged us in it, and to using one of Michelle's best tips. Look what this hidden Mickey I saw by looking up.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I
is
remember seeing
Michelle's
that.
very
Yes.
best tip. Is
Wow.
when you get to the parks, look up. He found this
Yes.
hidden Mickey at the Polynesian Resort
Yes.
by looking up. And so,
Very cool. I'm glad it helped. And yes, it's fun to look up.
yeah. So thank you, Scott, for sending that to us,
Yes.
by the way. So
Appreciate that.
So now let's get to my tip. And my tip, I heard a lot of people and actually some friends in podcasts around that have not been able to get to the Walt Disney World Resort recently, but are thinking about doing it soon, and talking about trying to get to the Rise of the Resistance. And I thought there was some inaccuracy with the information, even though there's a lot of information about
Right.
it there, that there's some inaccuracies or some just some things that they don't know about it. So I thought, it's coming to the Disneyland Resort, and it may be a little different than Disneyland Resort. I'm going to talk about that as well too, but just to kind of get you prepped for if you're going to the Walt Disney World Resort, or if you're going to the Disneyland Resort once Rise of the Resistance opens up here at the end of the week, how you might be able to be sure and snag that
Right.
boarding group, because you're going to want to, because especially if you're a Star Wars fan, this attraction, it will blow your mind. And if you want to hear all about it, if you don't mind spoilers, I was just on with Rob, who we just talked about a little earlier, Rob LeBerry of the Jedi Temple Archives podcast, and talked with him. We had both been on it along with Casey Lucas from Lucas Travel, who joined us as well, and he had been on it about the same time we had, and we just kind of all discussed our experience with Rise of the Resistance and how amazing it is.
Right.
So if you want to find out about it and you don't mind spoilers, I would suggest you download that episode of the Jedi Temple Archives podcast. Anyway, these are some tips on how to approach getting that boarding group, okay? So let's start off with, you will have to get up extremely early to
Yes.
do this, okay? It doesn't matter which resort, which coast you're on. You are going to have to get up extremely early, and you're going to want to be there well before park opening, okay, to make sure you get in. Now, the key is you don't necessarily need to be there so early. I mean, kind of take a look at some of the social media postings from people that are going in the days before you go, and seeing how early they get there, how much they're backing up. All you need to do is be in the park at opening. Now, here's the deal. You need to be able to scan in, using your annual pass, your ticket, whatever the case may be, your Magic Band, into either Disney's Hollywood Studios or Disneyland Park, as long as you're in there by opening, okay? So they will usually open the gates a good half an hour before the actual park officially opens. So you can scan in, go in there. Now, when the park officially opens, you will want to be on either, if you're at the Walt Disney World Resort, the My Disney Experience app, or if you're at the Disneyland Resort, the Disneyland app, okay? And they should have a page right out front that says, get a boarding group for Rise of the Resistance, and you'll want to refresh that. Now, here's what I would suggest to you. Don't stand around near the gates, or try and get away from where the most of the people are. Now, they're going to limit your access to this point. That's why it's called rope drop. There's usually some sort of rope or some sort of area that they stop you at, where you can only go so far into the park until park actually opens. You kind of want to move down, whether it be, Main Street USA at the Disneyland Resort, or Hollywood Boulevard at Disney Hollywood Studios. Move down a little bit, and I would suggest hopefully you go, if you're going solo, that's fine. But if you want to go with a group of people, have a couple people doing it different ways. Maybe one person on the Wi-Fi that's there. One person turned off the Wi-Fi that's maybe on whatever your cellular signal is, whether it's an LTE, whether it's 5G, whatever the case may be, because it can differentiate on how quickly you can get in. And then as soon as that hour comes, whether it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whenever the park is opening, be there and refresh as quickly as you can, and then join that boarding group. Now, you should be able to, if you're in the park at that time, it may go quickly, but you should be able to nab a boarding group at some point during the day. And you'll be able to kind of tell by what boarding group you are when you might be getting onto this attraction.
Right.
Depending, again, this attraction has many different functions to it, so it could break down. So, sometimes a boarding group you think is going to go at this time, make it slotted back a
Right.
little bit. But you will probably get on once you get a boarding group. The good news is that once you get your boarding group, you're free to do whatever you want. If you think you're
Right.
going to be ready to go pretty soon, if you get a really early boarding group, then you could head right over to Batuu, to
Right.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and get prepared to ride on Rise of the Resistance. If it's a little higher number, then you can do what you want. You can go ride other attractions. You can go get breakfast. You got up really early.
Right.
If you want to go out and leave the park, and once you've got your boarding group, you can leave the park, go take a nap, go take a shower, do whatever you want, and come back, because you have a 2-hour window from when your boarding group is called to get
Right.
back. So it does. As long as you know you can get back to the Rise of the Resistance open
Right.
gate within that 2-hour period, you're fine. You can
Yeah.
go wherever you want. So it doesn't matter if you wake up really early. If you want to go back and get a little more sleep, you
Right.
probably can do so, whether you're either riding the attraction early and then going back, or
Right.
just getting in, checking in, getting your boarding group, and going back to the room and sleep for a little bit, whatever the case may be. So feel free to take advantage of that. And look, if you have any questions on this, again, a lot of times when I'm describing these things, it can get a little convoluted and it can be a little confusing.
You?
I know, that never happens. I'm happy to answer them for you. I'm here as someone who has ridden this attraction, has
Right.
watched as other people have ridden it, and seen what they've gone
Right.
through and how the best approach to this. Now, I will say Disneyland may be a different animal than Walt Disney World. I've only experienced the Walt Disney World Resort. I think at Disneyland, at least from what they've told us originally, is going to, at the beginning, approach it similarly. But the difference in how many people can possibly be at the Disneyland Resort on any given day versus at the Walt Disney World Resort
Right.
could be huge. Now, I did this research from when I was talking with Rob about the population
Right.
that could be. Now, just in around Central Florida, so just talking about the counties that are within a relatively
Right.
couple hour driving distance that could get to possibly Disney's Hollywood Studios
Right.
within time to get up and be at this attraction. Okay, that's counts 17 counties, which as of, according to Wikipedia, as of last year was about 8.2 million people. Okay.
Right.
There are more people in LA County alone than in all 17 counties there. Okay. Also, there's more people that have annual passes
Right.
at the Disneyland Resort that won't mind. They can burn that. They can just show up for a little
Right,
bit if they want
right.
to. And they're not buying a ticket that they feel they need to
Right.
use the whole day on. So be prepared for that.
Or even this new 3-day.
Right. So be prepared for that. As a matter of fact, and just to compare numbers, within around 2 hours driving distance of Disneyland in Southern California alone, which counts for 10 counties, there are 24.1 million people. Okay. That is about three times as many people as, so just be prepared. And that doesn't even count people who are visiting. Okay.
Right.
So just be prepared for that it may be a little different animal at Disneyland. It's going to be an interesting process to see what happens there. But as long as you follow this process for the most part, I think you're going to find a way to get into this boarding group. I'm not trying to scare you off from it. I'm actually trying to encourage it because the ride is that good. You are going to want to take a day at some point and go out there and get up super early and do this thing because you will be blown away by it.
Right. And like you said, you never know that they might do things a little differently because of the ability for so many people to get there. We saw how things evolved when they first opened up Galaxy's Edge. And, even with the Rise of the Resistance ride at Disney World, how they changed how you could get the boarding passes. So they do really try to look and see how does it work and how can we make it better, which I think is great.
Yeah. So we will see how it adapts in Southern California at the Disneyland Resort. We'll see if it stays the same. Maybe it works perfectly, or at least as close as it does to the Walt Disney World Resort. Maybe they have to adjust it. But either way, if you get the chance to get out there and do it, definitely do it. I just can't recommend this. It's the best ride I've
it's
ever
amazing.
been on, start to finish. It's amazing. Everything is fantastic about it. So that's it for this week. Oh, Michelle, did you have something else to
I
say?
have a question
Yeah.
about the passes that the Southern California residents can get. Does that have blockout dates?
They did not say anything about blackout dates. Nothing
Wow.
in there was said blackout dates. So I assume those are just because they're, I mean, you can buy regular tickets at any time without blackout
True.
dates. So I assume they work just like a regular ticket. So
Right.
you might want to ask them before you purchase them just to verify this, because I'm just, again, it was from the Disney Parks blog. So,
Right.
but I may have not gotten through all of the fine print, but usually they post that right out front
Right,
on those
yeah,
stories if it's
sure.
there. So I don't think there are, but you may want to check just to be sure
Right,
if that's
right.
the case. Always, cover your bases.
Right. Yes.
So that's it for this week. Next week, we are going to get back to something that's been very popular topic on our show. Not only is it going to be one of our 5 favorites, which is always a popular
Right.
topic on our show, it's going to be something involving music. I haven't nailed down which exact music theme we're going to do yet, but I will be letting you know this week. We will be letting you know, and we will want your input on this, because the music episodes are always some of our most fun, and also the ones we get the most response from.
Right. One of the thoughts I was having is, because it's Martin Luther King weekend, thinking maybe inspirational songs, but that's just an idea.
I like
throw it
inspirational
out there.
songs. That's one of the ones I've been wanting to do for a while now, so that may be it. So we will let you know, but probably that's going to be the case.
Yeah, we've been
Inspirational
itching
songs.
to do
inspirational
songs.
Disney songs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be fun for next week. As for this week, we appreciate you joined us today. In the future, you can find us most everywhere you get podcasts. However, the very best place to find us is on our own website, HyperionAdventurespodcast.com.
Right. And as we said at the beginning, one of the things that we really appreciate, and all podcasters do, as we said, is tell a friend about this podcast.
Yes, if you can tell a friend about us, that's the best way to get the word out that this is a podcast that other people might like. You can also leave a review, even just a rating.
Right.
All those are appreciated and really help us in many ways. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. And if you ever want to contact us, including about letting us know what your favorite inspirational songs are,
Right.
you can email us at HyperionAdventurespodcast@gmail.com.
And we really do love hearing from you and love the feedback. And please keep that up. And we are so thrilled with all of our listeners.
Yeah, I love all of our Hyperion adventurers just like you. Thank you for listening to the Hyperion Adventures Podcast. We look forward to sharing some time with you again next week. Until that time, I'm Tom,
I'm Michelle.
and we hope that you have a magical week.